Georgie's gorgeous gifts so fine. Every piece uniquely.
So in today's video we're going to be doing this stunning 3D Suncatcher from Pour Away Fluid Arts, the stencil. Let's get into it. So I've got this other piece from Pour Away Fluid Art, and because I'm working on another piece, I used this base to put the resin on. So here's the stencil. I'm just going to make sure that there's resin all over the board. Hasn't got to be loads, excuse me. So I'm just popping a very, very thin layer, just enough to stick this stencil down. Now I've got the backing on, so even if it does run under, it won't go on the other side of the perspex. Now my idea is to pop this into a frame. So we've got enough resin on there. I'm just going to pop this down right in the middle. So you do have a choice. You can either get the clear acrylic or they do a metal square, which you can use. I've tried both and both are just as good. Now I'm just going to leave this to cure overnight and be back tomorrow to continue. So this is the following day and this is now fully cured. So I mixed my resin up. The resin I used is Craft Resin's 1:1 ratio. Super easy to use and virtually bubble free. I have popped the resin into my Resiner's bubble machine or debubbling machine, which is fab. I highly recommend it. So I'm just pouring the resin into these smaller cups and I'm going to mix my colours into it. So I'm using a mixture of just plain resin dye. So reds, oranges, yellows, so that it looks a bit like a sun. Now I was umming and ahhing whether to do this transparent and pop it into the frame or whether to do it opaque. So we went for the transparent look because I think it looks super cute in the frame. These are just generic resin pigments from Amazon and Temu, I believe. Not alcoholics. Just plain. They do look very similar in the cups, but trust me, they are different colours. So here's the yellow, and I'm just going to pour it in ever so gently, just to make sure that I don't go above the stencil line. So I don't want the colours to be touching, some matching colours to be touching. So I just randomly went in with the yellow. Now it does look slightly green because of the blue mat underneath, but it is yellow. I do put later on a deeper yellow into some of the sections because it wasn't quite dark enough for me, but yeah, I think it gives it a really nice contrast. So I'm just getting my stick and getting into all the grooves and all the corners just to make sure I've got a clear layer all the way around. Now because the stencil is fixed to the backing board, you won't get any leakages unless it goes up over the top. And the possibilities are truly endless with these stencils. The colour combinations, you can use glitter, you can use Angelina film. If you have a look in a previous video with the coasters, I used Angelina film for them and the effect is really, really nice. Yeah, you can use glitters, all sorts of things. So my idea was to pop this into a frame once I'm done. Now this did take a while, as you can imagine, because it was really fiddly. So I'm just going in one by one with the different colours until it's how I want it. So I'm just going to play you a little bit of music, one that I've designed from Suno AI, so I hope you like it, just while we speed through this bit.
On socials too, find the magic that I do. Georgie's gorgeous gifts online, handmade treasures so divine. From my hands to your delight,
now this is all poured, I leave it overnight to cure again. So this is now fully cured. For some reason it's gone a bit funny there. So we are going to put like a little top coat on that just to sort that bit out. We're going to peel the backing off because that's what's giving it the dirty look. And we're going to pop some of this in that centre bit because I know it looks blue there, but see the orange tint to it. So that's why I'm using that in there, and I'm going to be using the J. Diction's High Viscosity UV Resin just to fill that in. So let's get to it. So I've used an acrylic paint marker pen just to go round the outside of the circle. So I'm just going to cut that out. Now I've made it a little bit smaller, and the benefit of doing it with an acrylic marker is that I can use the alcohol to wipe it off afterwards, so I haven't got to worry about the blue ring. So I ummed and ahed about what to do for this middle bit, whether to use, initially I was going to use the orange and the yellow just to make flames in the middle of that. But I'm going to leave these bits clear. Would help if I had a decent pair of scissors. So I'm literally just cutting around the circle. And then we're going to get some isopropyl alcohol and a cloth and just wipe that mark off. Move that to one side. Yeah, and it literally just rubs off. Right, try and round it off a little bit. Right, and then we're going to pop it into this shadow box frame that I had from Hobbycraft. I did buy an 8x8 frame from Amazon, but when it come, this was like a Perspex type of plastic. It's not glass, and it's a perfect depth, don't get me wrong, but with the acrylic board on the back of this piece, it doesn't quite fit in the 8x8 because that's how big this is. So I've gone for the 25 centimetres by 25 centimetres, so I don't know what that is in inches. So I'm literally just going to get my gloves on, and just like magic, the joys of technology, I'm going to get my UV resin. Now, because there's a clear backboard on this, the acrylic board, then I can use the light to stick this in. So just make sure that we've got a full coating all over. That's it. All right. And then we're just going to pop that in there, making sure, there you go, perfect size. So there's no bubbles. And I'm just going to get my light. And I'm going to cure that for a minute and a half on this side, and then I'm going to turn it over and cure that in a minute and a half. So after that's done, we'll be back to pop it in the frame. So we've popped some UV resin into that, and I'm happy enough with that. And now we're going to take off the back sheeting, and this is what makes a difference. And I keep this on purely because any mess that gets on the back comes right off. The difference in that. Now from that side you can see it looks orange. Now you could put it into the frame that way, but I'm going to pop it in that way because I think it looks much nicer. So this is just a 25 by 25 frame. It's a 3 centimetre depth one. Like I say, I did buy the other one, but it just wasn't suitable because I couldn't fit it into the back. So luckily enough, I have these in the shed, in amongst a load of stuff that I buy and think, oh, I need that. Right, so I've just taken the back off by lifting these things up, and I'm pop that down. Now this one is glass, and they are beautiful frames. I think they were only about £7. But what I noticed is that this inner bit is exactly the same size, so you can actually place it right in there. Yeah, so just a little bit around these edges here. So I'll put it on the edge of this cardboard bit and then glue that down. Then I'll glue that in, and then we could use some UV resin just to glue that in there so that doesn't come off. So after popping some Elmer's glue around the top, because there's a lip between the frame and where the white thing is, I was able to put the glue all around the edge, stick that to the frame, then stick the inner wooden bit in again with some Elmer's glue, and then I stuck it down with the black clasps. And then, like you just saw, I literally run some UV resin all the way around the edges and quickly cured it so that it would stick to the cardboard and remain in the frame. Now, I didn't have a clue whether this was going to work, but we tried it anyway, and as it turns out, it worked really well. Yeah, so I just continued just to pop a layer all around and then cure it. I did actually end up getting my bigger light out because this little light just wasn't doing it as quick as I needed it to. So yeah, I give it a good blast with my bigger light, as you can see here. And I did that for a good 6 or 7 minutes both sides. So I've managed to UV resin all around the edge, and we put some Elmer's glue and then pushed these in just to keep these in tight. So now I want to see if it's held. Yeah, there we go. And there's the finished piece. How stunning is that? So I'll leave you with some glamour shots. I hope you enjoyed this content. I've been Tony from Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts. Stay safe, happy crafting, and see you soon.
Pouring sun.